Hello and welcome to Raven's Arcana. I am Raven, and this is going to be episode 3 of the Kabbalistic Tree of Life and how it relates to the tarot and also the 7 chakras. So in the first episode, we went over how the minor arcana suits fit into the tree and were associated with the chakras. In the second episode, the one right before this one, we went over the first 11 cards of the major arcana, the microcosmic tree, and how they fit in to the Sephira and how they related to the chakras. And now we're going to finish up with the remaining 11 cards, the macrocosm. So you have been interacting with the world, with other people, and now the worldly influences have become realized and your path gets more difficult. So if we start off with justice, which is in the top spot in being in Keter, we know that that is associated with the crown chakra. So being is your recognition of consciousness, your connection to spirit, to the universe. And we know that in this earthly existence, justice is very important. We need to know what is right and wrong. We know that karma is in play. We know that we need to act in a fair manner, as the world that we exist in on this planet can be unfair. So we need to realize that our actions have consequences and make sure that we are continuing on our path in a just and fair manner. If we move down to the right-hand side to Hokmah and wisdom, we see the hanged man. And the hanged man is associated with the third eye chakra because we have to know, we have to intuit when it's time to sacrifice certain parts of ourself as we move forward that do not serve us. We have to be wise enough to know through our gathering of information, through the understanding that there are times when we have to let parts of ourself diminish and remove them. This is a time of introspection. Now, if we move over to Bina and understanding, we have death in that spot, number 13. Now, death is also on the third eye chakra because once again, we have to understand and use our intuition and be wise enough as we move forward when to actually let cycles end, when to not continue down a certain path. So death is not the death of self, it is the death of certain actions, certain pathways that do not serve us. So our connection to spirit, we know what's right and wrong. We know when to let parts of ourself kind of fall to the wayside with the hanged man and with death. We have to intuit, we have to be wise enough to know when to stop having certain conversations, having certain interactions, taking certain actions, going down certain paths, and let that completely stop. Now, if we move down to the right-hand side again with Hesed and Mercy, number 14, we have the Temperance card, and that is on the throat chakra. Now, we must be merciful once again, but now we have to have patience with the world, with other people. We have to communicate and realize that our words hold weight, our actions hold weight, and they affect not only the environment, but our social settings. The way we emote, we affect empaths, we affect other people that can absorb our energy. We have to be patient with them, especially if we know in that section that's where we gathered followers, people that believe in us, people that trust us, people that we mentor. So the phrase patience is a virtue If they do not understand what's happening, we do not attack them. Oh my gosh, you're so ignorant. We have the patience to sit down in a kind way and interact with them. The same thing can be said for the environment. Our world, our environment is volatile. We have to be patient. You can't expect to plant seeds in the winter and they grow and be fruitful. There's timing involved. We can't get upset. We have to communicate in a merciful, kind manner. Have patience. Now, if we move over to the devil with Gevurah and strength, we also realize that those external influences that we have with our environment, with other people, we can be in situations where we are bound to certain behaviors, and so are other people, that are harmful to our existence, that stop us on our path, that hold us back, that set up barriers. We have to have the discipline, the strength for ourselves to realize we are acting in a certain way. We're taking on certain habits. We are communicating with ourselves that, hey, this is okay. This is what I need to get by. This is what I need to put this out of my mind, to forget about life, about my path for a minute. And we need to work through that. We also need to communicate with others and be honest with them and let them know that they're on a destructive path, that they are undertaking or participating in events, have habits that are destructive. Now, if we move down to the tower, number 16, with beauty and Tiferet, that is on the heart chakra. So we know through the first section, through the microcosmic journey, learning mostly about ourselves, still interacting with others, but we see that beauty in the world. We really understand what is happening. And this part with the tower, we know that all of our friendships are not going to last. All of our romantic relationships are not going to last. We're not going to live in the same place forever. Typically, right? You can't recreate scenarios and go back to the same place that when you discovered it, you had that amazing, beautiful feeling. We realize that the world changes. We realize that people evolve as we are evolving along our path. And it's harmful, and that tower brings down some of those relationships, some of those friendships, and it affects us emotionally. And when we get to that heart chakra, that's tough, right? Before, we realized how beautiful everything is that we can interact with. Now we realize that nothing lasts forever, typically. But we move on. And we move down to victory, and that's Sak, with the solar plexus chakra, and we have number 17, the star. Now the star is hope. And we talked about victory, and that is realizing your opportunities. Knowing that most jobs, a lot of friendships, some romantic partnerships are not going to last forever, we still have to have hope for the future, hope for the world. We have to keep that hope alive with that star card and continue to have willpower, bravery, courage to move forward on our path, to meet new friends, to court new potential partners. If we move over to Splendor and Hod, still on the solar plexus, so we're still talking about willpower, courage, bravery. And that splendor we talked about is having humility. It's also about realizing that you are just a part of everything around you. You are a small bit of the puzzle. The splendid existence that you are in, and everything is so much bigger than you are. But you play particular role. And that moon card can be illusion and delusion. Are you on a delusional path? Do you think something's going to happen based on your experiences? Or are you on the path of insanity? Are you continuing to act, say, feel a certain way and expecting a different result? Or with that moon card, are you taking and balancing everything? Are you balancing that? On the moon card, you have the wolf and the dog. Are you controlled? Do you also realize that you are a primal creature and a domestic creature? And that moon takes a lot of strength, courage, bravery. That path that you were on to balance out and take the correct path towards that soul perfection. Realizing that you're affecting your environment with your energy through action, through words, through thoughts, through emotions is paramount. Now, if we move down to Yesod and foundation, we have the sacral chakra, and the sun is there, number 19. Now, with the sun, that is all about ego. That is about creativity, what you are doing, your life force on this earth. And having that foundation that you can have that passion to create change. You realize that there are a lot of steps that you've gone through. You realize that you've had to stop certain behaviors, take different paths, sacrifice parts of yourself, have patience with yourself, with the world. A lot of things don't last, don't stand the test of time. But you have to have hope. And you cannot be swayed. You have to remain balanced and continue to create change. Continue to have that passion inside of you to move forward, to set that foundation of passion, purity, and creativity, because you have an effect on all of your emotions and thoughts and actions, but also everyone else's. So you keep that foundation strong. You keep that divine spark burning bright. And then we move down to the root chakra with Malkut and kingdom. And that is judgment, number 20. So as we're looking at the physical plane, everything you have been given, all of your gifts and your blessings, we know that you, one, will be judged on how you apply those by other people, by the world. You will be perceived in a certain way. Also, with the judgment card, it's about transformation. So you're transforming into a spiritual being, but you are still tied to your human existence. So balancing that transformation, once again, keeping your head out of the clouds, removing arrogance, especially if people look up to you for guidance, for hope, for direction. You want to be one, transformative continuously on your path, but have the ability to help other people transform as well. But realize once again that you are still on this planet. You have to exist and use your skills to navigate through even day-to-day life. But we can do that in a manner with those small victories, realizing we have an effect on everyone else, realizing that not everything lasts forever, having patience, removing bad habits, sacrificing parts of ourselves that do not feed our perfected soul, or the search for it, and realizing certain paths are not the right ones to take anymore, and acting in a fair way, realizing that there is right and wrong. And then we get to Da'at with the world. Number 21, the end of the major arcana. So hopefully we get to that point where we have soul perfection. We have spiritual connection with our crown chakra. We have earthly connection with our root chakra. We have balanced everything that we just discussed. And we are a spiritual being in the body of a human in this world. And with the world is also endings and beginnings. So there are times where we might complete this path based on where we are in our life, and then we restart this path. Maybe with a major arcana, maybe we go through a whole transformation again and start back with the Ace of Pentacles. Constant evolution of the self, of the soul, of our mind, of our emotions, and our body. Well, all right. Thank you so much for hanging out and being around for this series. I really appreciate it. If you like the video, please give it a like. If you enjoy the content and are not subscribed, you can subscribe, and you can also hit the notification bell to get alerts when I release new material. And appreciate it once again. And have an amazing day. Take care of yourself.